What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and after 13 long years, finally, today, we're gonna review Avatar: The Way of Water. Alright, let's jump into a quick intro. After 10 years, Jake Sully and his new Na'vi family go to great lengths to keep their family safe because trouble finds them as the humans have returned back to Pandora. Okay, let's jump into the good.
The good.
Look, director James Cameron came, saw, and conquered with the amazing visuals in Avatar 2. The detail and the VFX have yet again pushed the bar for the industry as a whole. The cinematography alone makes you feel like you're right smack dab in the middle of the action. Look, there were times where I thought I was like at arm's length touching the water, or I'm sitting here thinking things are flying at my face. Like, it was just amazing that, you know, all this stuff was visually so in depth and so engaging. And I mean, there were times where I really thought I was in the water with the characters too. I mean, thanks to the captivating visuals, you can't help but be in wonder and in awe of the amazing new world building that happened in the film. I loved how much more of Pandora that got revealed. The new tribe and animals that were introduced were fascinating to explore. Now, overall, Pandora came alive in a way that kind of made you feel like this was actually a real place. Now, aside from like the nice visuals and the world building and everything, James Cameron did not hold back when it came to the thrilling action. The major battle scene in the final act of the movie was a perfect jolt of energy to make me stop thinking about the film's very long runtime. I really appreciated how much Cameron advanced the human technology aspects in this film because it really made the humans a terrifying presence. There were some suspenseful chase scenes that'll probably remind you of Terminator 2. And yet again, this is where the solid cinematography came into play and amped up those exciting moments. Now, another thing that Cameron does really well in this movie is, well, tap into the feels. There was a lot of emotion in this movie given the characters, their plight, and other situations that take place. I couldn't believe that this movie had me feeling for some alien whales, but that was the case. Much of the emotional impact was supported by the strong, constant theme of family. And thankfully, this wasn't like the cheesy way that Fast and the Furious talks about the theme of family, even though this was referenced just as much. Finally, I thought some of the performances in Avatar 2 were handled very well. Stephen Lang was the perfect villain in this story. I mean, they don't make haters like him anymore. He was a little one note sometimes, but he was so effective. He was literally the character you wanted to hate, and it was interesting to see the new dynamic added to his character. They actually gave him a little bit more depth, and I appreciated that. Now, next to Lang, I think Zoe Saldaña probably had one of the most powerful performances in the film. Her character's build-up to the end was outstanding, and her delivery was everything. I mean, when she was mad, when she was hurt, you felt that. She had a solid 10-minute sequence in the final act where she just stole every moment in that movie. All right, enough of that. Let's get on to the bad.
The bad.
I think the main weakness with Avatar, The Way of Water, probably has to come in the story and the writing. The biggest issue was the plot, and it was incredibly repetitive and familiar from the previous Avatar movie. While the world building was nice to see, we literally went down this exact same path last time. We discovered new animals, new plants, new people, had a training sequence, and got acclimated to a different culture. Sure, there were some minor tweaks for the sequel, but not enough to really make this feel like something unique. Now, if you're new to the Avatar series, and let's just say you walked into this movie fresh and cold and never saw the previous one, then okay, fine, this wouldn't be a bad thing. However, this movie was created to be a sequel, which means recycling the same stuff that you did before is not really a great way to progress a story, and in my opinion, it's just not a good thing for a sequel to do. Now, to continue on with the issues with the story and the plot, it was super basic. There were instances in the movie that felt like a video game at times. Now, I'm not talking about video games in a visual sense, but in a controlled way. So, for example, there are scenes in the movie that feel like a moment when you have to reload your ammo, or maybe you've reached a save point in a game. In addition to that, there were a number of incredibly convenient moments that would happen. So as a result, the movie seemed very, very predictable. Furthermore, because you can predict so much of the simplistic story, some of the stakes felt lessened. Some of the sense of urgency didn't really feel as urgent. A primary example, I would say, is with Jake Sully's oldest son. Now, his character was primarily used pretty much just as a plot device to service his younger sibling and other characters. It was kind of messed up because this movie was so long, it developed all these other characters, but they let this character just not do very much. It was kind of messed up because given the long runtime of the film, so many other characters were given more treatment, but in this case, it wasn't hard to tell where his story was going to end up. All right, enough of that. Let's get on to the reason.
The reason.
Avatar: The Way of Water is a jaw-dropping, visually immersive experience that demands to be seen on the biggest screen possible. James Cameron continues to raise the bar when it comes to the movie-going experience. This is why movies were made. You want to go see this movie because of all the visuals and all the amazing things that you're going to see. Now, while the plot might not be the most compelling thing you could hope for, you're gonna go into this movie for the adventure of it all. The sequel continues the themes of colonization, gentrification, and appropriation in a way that kind of comes off as Aliens meets Get Out. Now, I wouldn't say that it's a requirement that you have to go see the previous movie again if you have already seen it. If you've seen it before, and let's just say it's been 13 years and you haven't, seen it, I would say maybe do a quick YouTube search for a recap just to get a refresher on like the actual story. Now, if you have not seen the first Avatar movie and this is like the very first time, I would say yes, you probably should go watch the first movie so that way you can really appreciate what this film is trying to do, especially since James Cameron is trying to make this a huge franchise. So you definitely want to at least go see the movie if you've never seen it before. So when it comes to the rating for Avatar: The Way of Water, I've got to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, for some of you that are wondering, yes, this movie's runtime is over 3 hours. It's a long movie and you feel it. Now, I'm not saying that it's a long movie as a bad thing, and I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm just saying it's a matter of fact. It's a long movie, right? Now, some of you might also be wondering, the way my bladder's set up, so like, look, if you're looking for a potential bathroom break, I would say that when Jake's family goes off and discovers the Water Tribe, that's probably like an hour or two into the movie. That's probably a good time for you to go ahead and take a little quick bathroom break. There's another scene where there's like a teenage prank that happens. You could probably go take a break at that point too. But that would be the only times I'd recommend it, because after that, there are some meaningful moments where you just don't want to miss out. Now, something else to consider, parents, you might want to be advised. I don't know if this would be recommended for small children. This movie does have some coarse adult language, and it is pretty violent as well. So just be advised about that. Either way, I would absolutely recommend watching Avatar: The Way of Water on the biggest screen possible. And I'm talking about like Dolby 3D or IMAX 3D. This is not one of those movies that you want to go on the low end with when you go watch it. I'm just saying, the lower you go, the smaller the screen, the less you're going to appreciate what this movie actually can do. So if you watch it at home, it's not going to be as good. If you watch it on a non-3D screen, it's not going to be as good. I mean, the best way to really watch this is in 3D, if possible. So have you seen Avatar: The Way of Water? If and when you do go see it, come on back to this video and let me know, what did you think about it? Anyway, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate it. If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.